Hello once again. So here I am back for my uh, continuation of my Bleach manga review. And this round I'm going to be specifically talking about my problems I have with the Bleach manga series. And before I get started, a lot of the things that I talk with people about in regarding Bleach, as it occasionally comes up every now and again, is that people complain about Bleach, but they complain about it for the wrong reasons. One of the big ones is it being long. And you know what? A series is not bad because it's long. I mean, if you think about it, that's what you'd want, right? You'd want your series to be long. I mean, God, look at all of the American comics, like Spider-Man's over 600 issues long. Hulk is 700, and DC titles have been going on even longer than that. Of course, I'm kind of shooting myself in the foot talking about the DC titles because they all just got rebooted. But you can see that all these series have decades worth of continuity in relation to them that have shaped and changed what the characters are now. And so by saying that a series is bad just because it's long is really not fair. Is X-Files worse than Twin Peaks just because X-Files went on for a little over 8 years, I think, and Twin Peaks was only like a season or two? Does that make it better or worse? Nah, not necessarily. The thing that is bad about series, that is in relation to a series being long, is it being redundant and monotonous. Those are legitimate reasons to not like a series, which happens, I guess, with Inuyasha. People didn't stop liking Inuyasha because it got so long. People stopped liking Inuyasha because, well, from what I've heard, it became kind of monotonous. And likewise with maybe a few other series here and there. So that is not my main problems with Bleach. My main problems with Bleach are very grounded in logical flaws with the storytelling, as you will probably see. Now, of course, when I'm talking about my problems with Bleach, I'm going to be talking about very specific moments in the plot of Bleach, which means that if you have not read the series up to, I think all of the stuff I mention occurs within about volume 1 to about volume 22, 23-ish, around the beginning of the Arankar arc, you're going to be completely spoiled for some things. And some of them are actually big plot twists here and there, which I have a little problem with some of those. But needless to say, you're gonna want to read those and then come back later and then hear what I have to say about them. Or not. You don't care. Still not. The things that I don't like are still not the main bulk of what the storytelling is. They're just very poorly handled moments. So, with that in mind, let me present to you with my problems of Bleach. The first thing that bugs me hard is Soul Society and how it works. I could go on about the mentions of money in the dialogue and how money kind of wouldn't work if you have an immortal soul, or the apparent separation of class, which also doesn't make sense if you disregard the idea that there is money in Soul Society and therefore there should be no economy, so there shouldn't be a class separation, or the presence of animals and plants as well as seasons in Soul Society, which also don't make complete sense, because that would imply then that plants and animals have souls. And I'll focus mainly on the human lives and human souls and how they apparently work and also at the same time don't work. First up, apparently in Soul Society, from what I've gathered, a person can be born there, which already doesn't make sense because, again, you're supposed to be dead. But also age, at least to an extent, as we see Rukia and Renji as little kids, and then they age appropriately in the right amount of span of time and then apparently stop aging and just go on for a few hundred years as teenagers. This is odd since there are clearly older members of Soul Society that age differently. And somehow Yama, the oldest one that we see in Soul Society, is super old for some reason. I guess it kind of makes sense because his Zanpakuto is the oldest, so maybe he's really, really old. It's just the aging thing and it being inconsistent that bugs me there. Next is you can die in Soul Society. How can you die if you're already dead? Also, considering that, how does a soul leave Soul Society and get back on Earth to be reincarnated? It's mentioned in Volume 5 when Uryu effed up royally by attracting a horde of hollows to Soul Society for what amounted to no less than a pissing contest with Ichigo, that he offset the balance of souls in the spirit plane and the souls on the living plane, and that there has to be a balance to the amount on either side or chaos will ensue and eventually Armageddon. I get people die and then show up in Soul Society, and they do show it, but they don't show how the other way works, which gets back to souls dying. I get when the hollows eat souls and they are consumed and burned as fuel for them, and that destroys the soul. What I don't get is how a Soul Reaper sword can cut up a dead person, a soul of a dead person, and make them die. Because then, where does the soul go? I mean, does it just... They apparently are gone for good, because you never see anyone that gets killed with the Zanpakutos come back again later or something or anything.
Saddam.
Did you miss me, Buttercup?
No, it can't be. You're dead. I killed you.
Yeah, you killed me. So, where was I gonna go? Detroit?
And then on top of that, I don't get how you can kill someone with the Zanpakuto. I get that the sword is magical in nature, but Rukia clearly explains that the only uses of a Zanpakuto is that it sends holes and hollows into the afterlife to be sorted into either Soul Society or Hell. So based on that, I don't get where it comes into play that it can also destroy souls. Realistically, the only thing that it should harm is hollows. And even then, it's not actually harming the hollow. It's just gonna cut them up. And then once it deals the kill blow, their soul gets sort of reconfigured back into whatever the soul originally was. And then it's sent into the afterlife.